Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to this edition of Yorkville Sports. You're in the nest, the Eagles Nest, and I'm your host, Joe Patrick. My co-host, Clark Wright, is in the gym right now with one of our after-school programs, and J-Rod, he's in there taking care of J-Rod business. So we're going to give you the scores and rundowns for September 12th and September 19th as we missed the first 2 weeks just getting started. This is back our 2015 season, so we want to bring you up to date with all the scores from the last 2 weeks. All right, our 8U South team in Week 1 played Astoria. They won both of their games 9-6 and 16-4. 9-6 and 16-4 in Week 1, which was the 12th. And in Week 2, they lost their first game 12-0, and then redeemed themselves and won 10-6. What was that 12-0 about? Guys, they just didn't wake up in the morning. Bill Stanton sent us in some of the commentary, the color for the game. Byron started game 1 on the mound. He pitched 3 innings of no hit and 8 Ks. And then young Chase Stanton came in, and he closed out the game in the last inning and had 2 Ks. In game 2, Walton and Will combined for 4 shutout innings, and they pitched 10. They had 10 Ks amongst the two of them. In the hitting, the game, this is Week 1. The guys jumped out the box really good. Hitting was really good. They had 23 hits overall combined for the day in both games. Dylan went 2 for 4 with 3 base on balls and 5 runs scored. So Dylan, do your thing. We had Byron. Byron had a 4 for 6 afternoon. He had a triple, 1 base on balls, and he had 3 runs that were scored. Chase Stanton went 4 for 7. He had a double, stolen base, and 4 runs scored. Gray Stevens had a 3 for 5 game. He had 2 base on balls, 3 runs, including one of the hardest hit balls that Mr. Stanton has ever seen an 8-year-old do. So, hey, look. That's a man-child there hitting balls that Mr. Stanton said that he'd never seen something like that before. So, guys, keep up the good work. We want to round it out with Miguel. Miguel had a 3 for 5 game. 3 for 5. He had a double, 1 base on ball, and 2 big 2-out RBI. He had a 2-out RBI. So, in other words, in one of those games, he doesn't say what game it's in, but 2 outs, big RBI, I guess. I don't know, maybe it was just for color because they won 9-6. Maybe it was in the first game, that 2-out RBI. Maybe that's what was the deciding factor in the whole thing. And then Will Stevens rounded out. He went 3 for 5 with 3 runs scored. So that's the 8U South team. That was sent in by Mr. Stanton. Mr. Stanton, thank you very much. Remember, guys on the 8U team, just keep up the good work. And remember, don't check swing. You got to swing the bats. Don't check swing. Swing the bats. All right? So there you have it. And as I said, in Game 2, they played the Cortland Nationals. Now let's go over to the 8U North team. This is the new team that just came over. They're starting out the box. They played the Armonk. I don't know if there's the team from Armonk, we'll say. They won their first game of the season. They won 12-8. They lost 17-0 in the second game. So I guess the guys were a little tired. This is the first time they're ever playing, I would imagine, competitive travel ball. And these guys did a great job in the first game, but they had something to redeem themselves for after that 17-0 loss. In the second week on September 19th, they played Newcastle, and they lost both of their games that day too. But they fared pretty good in the first game. They had a 8-6 loss, and then they lost 14-5. So it seems like the boys are getting up early, but they're not staying late. So you got to get up early and stay late. You got to. It ain't over till it's over. We want to say, God bless Yogi Berra. That was a segue, I guess. He died today of heart complications. He was 90 years old, I believe. I believe he was 90 years old, maybe 91. It ain't over till it's over. So it's over for Yogi Berra, and our hats at Yorkville. It goes out to Yogi and his family. He's a great Yankee, one of the greatest Yankees of all time. And being a Yankee fan, I know how it feels. My heart is bleeding Yankee blue inside right now. So with that said, Yogi, we're going to miss you, guy. Right now we're going to go into the 9U South. 9U South played the Spartans Gray in the first game. In the first week, that was September 12th. They lost the first game 4-2. Good game, 4-2 loss. But they redeemed themselves and came back 3-1 in the second game. In the second week, on September 19th, they played the Westchester Bulldogs. Westchester Bulldogs. They won both of their games. That's how we do it. We can come back 10-0. We zipped them 10-0 and 16-1. 10-0, 16-1. Wow. That is what you call a beep, 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 whooping. Go figure it out. It's just a whooping, whatever you call it. It was just a whooping. All right, so that's a good job from the 9U South team. 9U North. Let's flip this over and see what 9U North did. 9U North in week 1, September 12th, played the CP Stars. They won both of their games, 10-1 and 6-3. 10-1, 6-3 win for the 9U North team. And in the second week, we're talking about the 19th, they played Newcastle, and they lost both of their games. So they jumped out the box really well in week 1. In week 2, they lost both their games, 4-2 and 14-6. So, come on, guys. Let's do our thing, 9U North team. Let's do our thing. We got to get it back together. Let's hope this week is going to be better. In the 10U division, 10U South, they played the Armonk Red team, the Armonk Red. They won the first game 10-3, and the second game they lost 4-2. 10-3, 4-2. That 4-2 loss was pretty close from what I understand. So, guys, you know what you got to do. You just got to that South team is a really, really, really good team. I believe that's Clark Wright's team and Nick Hazenberg, and these guys play well no matter what. They're like the big little guys of the Yorkville Eagles program. So, guys, just do your thing. Do your thing. We'll have some videos sent in by one of our parents. Mr. Newman, Mr. Zach Newman's dad, he always goes out and he does videotapes everything. So let's see what you got. What you got this week for us, guy. All right? We want to see that. We're going to throw it up. Throw it up right now. In fact, we're going to let it play. Play that video. And in the 19th, September 19th, the 10U South team, they won both their games 8-0 and 6-3. 8-0, 6-3. So that's the 10U South boys. Keep up the good work. I know you guys are working hard. 10U North, played the GVLL Villagers in week 1. That was the 12th. They lost 5-4, close game, really good. Went to sleep in the second game, 12-0. Donut. I don't know, Dunkin' Donuts is around here somewhere, but we don't want donuts on our team. All right, guys, but it's okay. Remember, it's having fun, learning the game, and so on and so forth. But try not to get blanked, all right? Let's not do that. Let's not get blanked. And in the second week, they redeemed themselves a little bit, somewhat, because they won a game. They played the AYYA. I don't know what that acronym stands for. I could probably make it up, but I won't do that. But they played the AYYA team on the 19th last week. They lost the first game 18-9. Maybe 9-18. Well, they scored 9 more runs than we did. But in the second game, we put up that 9 again, and they only scored 7. So obviously our pitching was a little better. Our defense was a little better. And that's what it's all about, pitching and defense, pitching and defense, pitching and defense. Remember, good pitching beats good hitting any day of the week. Because everybody can hit to some degree. But if you can't hit what you can't see, you can't win. So there you have it, guys. All of you teams, go out there and pitch good. Pitch good and play good defense. Our 11U South team, they played in week 1. That's the 12th. They played the Throsneck Tornadoes. Tongue twister. They lost both their games 5-1, and in the second game they lost 7-0. 5-1, 7-0. And last week on the 19th, they played the Newcastle Knights, and you talk about redeeming themselves. Redemption song. Here we go. They won 13-1 and 8-0. 13-1, 8-0. So these teams are, 500. At the batting 500 right now, guys. That's how you come back. So any of you teams that lose 2 games in a row in 1 week, and you come back and you win all your games the next week, that makes you 500, at least for now. All right, that makes you did a job. You did your job. You did a good thing. All right. So let's move on to 11U North. They played the Warriors in week 1. In week 1, they played the Warriors. That's the 12th of September. They tied their first game 2-2. 2-2 tie. 2-2. That was pretty good. And then in the second game, they won 13-3. 13-3. That's A-Rod's number. You know, A-Rod's doing really good this year. I wonder what that's about. Could it be because he's steroid free? Or is it because he actually had time to heal? He took that year off, he had time to heal, so he's back to the swing of things, back to the somewhat the old A-Rod, even though he has 40-year-old legs right now. We're not going to blame him. He did good. I think he's got about, 34, 35 home runs right now. I didn't expect him to have that kind of stuff. Anyway, 11U North did their thing in week 1. In week 2, they played the New York Sluggers. New York Sluggers, they lost both their games 6-3 and 10-0. There goes that donut. We don't want donuts around here. Dunkin' Donuts or somewhere else. Guys, just have fun, though. No matter what, just have fun. It doesn't matter. Forget what I'm saying. I'm just horsing around. I don't want to make any of you guys feel down. I don't want the parents to feel down about themselves or any of the coaches. We play to win. But if we don't win, just play to have fun, play to enjoy the game and learn the game of baseball, as Yogi Berra would have you do, right? Now we're going to move on up to our 12U team. We only have one 12U team. They played Astoria the first week. They won 3-2 in our first week, 3-2 against Astoria. And then second week on the 19th of September, they played the Cortland Nationals, and they won 8-2. 8-2, it was the first game, and they lost the second game 10-5, 8-2, 10-5. But as you get into the 12U division and on up, these are the big boys. These guys knock bats around, and I don't know if they're using wooden bats as of yet. I don't know if they start at 12 or if they start at 13, but I know the guys are getting bigger at that point. And, big things, you expect games to be a lot tougher and everything like that. So now let's go up to our 13U. That's Brad Shaw's team. Brad, we're going to miss you out there, guy. Brad had to take a little hiatus because he had other business to take care of. But the team is in good hands. Good hands the team is in. Hopefully we'll get one of those coaches in. They do swing out here at the academy. Do you know that we have 2 academies now? We kind of split things up so that it would lessen the congestion here at the baseball academy. So we have another gym over on, 109th Street, 110th, 12th, something like that. It's over there. I know I can walk over there and get there pretty easy. But the 13U team does swing out here, and these guys, every year, they're just getting exponentially bigger. I don't know what they're eating, but whatever it is, I don't want that. I got to stay slim and trim, as we do this. I can't get that big. These young boys, at my age, I start eating like they do. Oh, no, I'll be orca. You don't want to be an orca. Anyway, the 13U team in the first week on the 12th played the Westchester Cardinals. They tied the first game. There goes that 2-2 tie again. They tied their first game, but then they came back and they did a spankity spank the team down 10-0. You know what? I like those Dunkin' Donuts as long as it's not our team. And just to prove to you what I'm talking about, in the next week on the 19th, they played the Niner baseball team. I don't know who the Niner baseball team, but you know what? They're not a 10. But you know what we did? We scored 10 runs on them in the first game. It was 10-0. 10-0 and 20-0. There goes that 0 again. 10-0, 20-0. 13U getting it done. I'm talking about for real. I would start naming names, but I don't know. Actually, these guys hit home runs too. So if any of you younger teams want to aspire to be like one of your older brothers, your older brethren, you can take a lesson from that 13U team because they're well disciplined. They know what they're doing. They go out there and they play the game right. They don't get down on themselves when they lose. Losing is not it hurts. Sometimes it's bittersweet, but these guys know how to come back. But so far, they haven't lost a game all year. They tied so far. So, they're ahead of the game right now. 13U getting it done. Bradshaw, I know you're out there. You probably watch this sometime. Brad. Eagles. You know what we do with those talents. Anyway, we're going to round it out with our 14U team, and I have to say, these are the big guys. I mean, they got a kid on their team called his name is Carson. Now, I remember Carson from 2 years ago when he walked in the gym, and I think he was working out with one of our other guys, Nate Fish, something like that. I think he was working out with Nate Fish. But anyway, Carson comes in. He's a little thin guy, right? From what I understand, he didn't have all the talent in the world, but what Carson has is desire. He has guts. He has the ability. He's very trainable. He wants to play the game of baseball, and he enjoys it, and he loves it. Right, so make a long story short, walk in here, look at Carson the other day. Remember, when I first met him, he's about like this. Now I'm looking up at the guy, and I'm like, what is this tree standing in front of me? I have no idea. I almost didn't recognize him. Hair all bushy and everything like that. Man-child, that's what he is. He's a man-child. He turned into something else. He transformed. He went into the closet. Well, not the closet, we won't say that, but he went into the phone booth. Came out like Superman, I guess. You know what, that Carson guy. I don't know how he did in these games, but I know Carson, hey, look, man, we're rooting for you all the time, and we're rooting for all of the 14-year-old guys. Big bats, big wood, all that kind of good stuff. Anyway, they played the Rye Grays in the first game, the first week on the 12th. They lost that first game 9-3, and then they won the second game 4-3. So they lost 9-3, won 4-3 in the first week, and then in the second week they played the Parkchester Angels. They won the first game 3-0, and then they lost the second game 8-3. Now 3-0, 8-3. They're 500 right now. They're 2-2 for the season. But I have to let you guys know these are the big guys. I mean, they play. For all intents and purposes, this is our big league ballers right here. Big league ballers, and it's tough, most of the time, I think the teams that they'll be playing against will be evenly matched against them. And, anybody can beat anybody on any given day. So they just have to keep their head in the game. And remember, like Yogi said, it's not over until it's over. So, guys, all of you guys, from the 8U all the way up to the 14U, just remember to play until the last out, because you never know what's going to happen. You know how us Yankees do it sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like last night, you know what we did? Woo-wee! Came back in that 10th inning. They got that guy down at first base is pretty good. Teixeira, we need you back, though. Anyway, this is not all about the Yankees. This is about Yorkville baseball and, all of Yorkville sports. And, if you want to get any more information about any sport that we do, all you got to do is log on to yyaa.org. Click on the sport of your choice, and we'll get you all set up. We play all year long, except the summer. We're trying to get summer ball going on. If you want to give us a call us at 212-360-0022. 0022-360-0022. So, okay, guys, that's it for week 1 and week 2. As I said, I hope you enjoyed some of the pictures that Bill Stanton sent in earlier, and the video that Mr. Newman was so gracious enough to put up for us. Guys, hey, look, we need more videos. We need more pictures. And if you liaisons are out there, please, guys, send us your information. You can send it to Joe at yyaa.org. Tell us about your team. Tell us about your week. Give us some pictures. Give us some videos. We'll be more than happy to post them for you. So there you go, guys. And as I always say, we're Eagles. And as Eagles, we fly higher than anybody else. And we come down on teams and whole programs with our talents, and we grab them by the talents and shake them around and shake things up to bring about the best possible programs in youth sports here in New York City. So with that said, I'm your host, Joe Patrick. This is the Eagles Nest, and we'll see you next week.